Today I'm going to show you one of my absolute favorite business models to make money with zero clients. And the first couple times that I heard about this business model, I thought it was complete BS. Really didn't think it was possible, but we have actually started doing it. I'm going to show you everything about it today. So what is the business model? It is digital real estate. I'm going to explain exactly what that is in just a second because a lot of people have different terms for it. But what we are doing is essentially building local websites, renting them out to local contractors, and making money every single week. Now, I am coming to you right now from a property that we are trying to flip. And unfortunately, it has been on the market a bit longer than we expected. So every single month that we are having this on the market without selling it, I'm having to come out of pocket with a mortgage payment. So that is taking away from our future potential profit. Hopefully we make some. But if I were to put this property on the market right now as a rental, I might make a couple $100 a month. And I would still incur all the risk of if the roof has problems or if the plumbing has issues or if the tenant just decides not to pay, I am stuck paying the monthly mortgage payment every single month. So it is a great model and it is something that we plan on continuing to do. But when you compound it with doing some digital real estate, which I'm going to show you in a moment, you can see that you can get started with this model for next to nothing. And if for some reason you don't have a tenant at the time, you aren't really losing a ton. So let me show you how this works. All right, here's me, and here is a snapshot of something in our Stripe account just showing you that we are renting this property out, this one digital real estate property for $75 per week. So I think you can see the dates here. Started back in December, maybe a little before that. And every single week we are getting $75 a week for this particular digital property. I'll explain to you why I'm charging by the week in just a moment and why it is so low on this particular one, but this could be way higher on future properties. And what we're doing is we're using HighLevel, one of our favorite software tools, to go and build local city websites for different contracting type niches. So concrete, tree service, roof repair, all that kind of stuff. And why I like to use HighLevel is because they allow you to have unlimited sub-accounts. So I can have thousands of websites on my HighLevel account, all with their own what they call sub-account. So it has its own phone number, it has its own email, landing pages, everything for that one little digital real estate niche. And every time that I get a lead, I can forward that over to a business owner and keep it all nice and neat in that one little sub-account. And I can have, again, unlimited of these, and I pay HighLevel just one small flat monthly fee. So again, if you want access to our free community where I talk about this, click the link down below or comment and say, I want the free course, and I'll personally respond to you with the link to that. Or you can go to howtoprofit.com and join all of our newsletter and community and everything. Okay, so as I build this website, let's call it Denton, Texas Concrete, for example, what I'm going to do is do two different things. Number one, I'm going to try to rank this on Google. So I'm going to build out landing pages and all the different service areas and everything to try to get this to rank on Google. And the reason I'm picking a smaller city outside of a city like Dallas is because there's probably a lot less competition, but there's still enough search volume to still make this a viable thing that somebody, a concrete contractor in Denton, Texas, for example, would still want to receive those leads. And probably even somebody in Dallas that services the Denton, Texas area would want to get those leads and forward them over to their team. So I buy the domain, I build the website, I'm trying to rank it on Google, but at the same time, I'm going to be running Facebook ads using our software that's built into HighLevel called UpX that we incorporate in there, so I can run ads in just a couple clicks. And I have full training on that as well inside of our community. But what I do is I run the ads right now to get leads today, all the while I'm trying to get this to organically rank on Google over time. So this is the way to jumpstart it and get some activity coming in pretty fast. Now, as I run the ads, I'm going to have them go to our landing page and fill out contact forms or quote forms. And then eventually I'm going to start receiving people filling out forms and also calling the phone number that we have on our landing page. So as the phone calls come in, I'm going to have HighLevel voice AI answer those calls and see what they want. And then the form submits, and anybody that's chatting over our website, I'm going to have CloseBot handling those conversations and seeing what kind of concrete quotes they need, what area they're in, how much they're looking to spend, all that kind of stuff, getting basically contact information. And then what I'm going to do once I have some leads is I'm going to be finding local concrete contractors in this example and reaching out to them and saying, hey, Joe, I got a lead over in Denton that needs some concrete work. Would you be open to taking them on and giving them a call? So Joe's going to say, yeah, well, what's the catch, or what do you want? Say, oh, no catch. I have a concrete site. It's generating some leads. I want to send them over to you. If you get some business out of it, maybe in a few days or a week, we can have a conversation about you getting all the leads from our site for a monthly fee. So he'll say, okay. And we'll forward the leads over to Joe. We can either do a 3-way call, which is a great way to just make sure that that lead gets handed off properly. Or if you don't want to do that, if you're way too shy, just have Joe call the person and try to make a connection there. Now, this part of the process, I will admit, is a bit trickier than I thought. Finding a stable, solid, responsive business owner that's going to actually follow up with the leads was way harder than I thought. Luckily, this guy that now I have renting the property is doing great. And he's always really responsive, not only with me, but also with the customers. But it took probably 3 or 4 different people to go through before I found this one. Now, what happens is Joe, in this case, is going to get those leads and get a couple of them. And hopefully he gets a deal closed. But even if he doesn't, he's going to know that this is a legitimate lead. Like, you're not just sending him junk. You're sending him people that just filled out a form and are looking for quotes. Whether he converts it or not, that's on him. But he's at least going to see some quality in these leads. So as we do that, then we say, hey, Joe, I've sent you 4 leads now. I've sent you 3 leads now. I know that you talked to Susie and hopefully you're going out there to do a quote for her. What would you say about sitting down and talking about how to get these on a monthly basis? So Joe is hopefully going to say yes. We sit down, we either go meet him in person if he's local, or we can do it over Zoom and say, look, I'm generating a bunch of leads on my site. I'm looking for somebody solid like you to turn them over to every single week. And I want to make sure that we have a strong relationship, but I don't want to be chasing you down for, did this lead work or did that lead work? And I'm sure you are way too busy to be talking to me every 5 minutes that I'm sending you a lead. So what I'd rather do is you just get all the leads from the site. Every single lead that comes in on a form, when the phone rings, anything is all going to be forwarded directly to you. And all I want to return is $300 a week. So you can pay on a weekly basis, no contracts. If you want to cancel at any time, let me know, and I'll just start sending the leads to somebody else in the area. So that phrase right there particularly not only lets them know that it's not a big deal. You're not like desperate for this. If he wants them, great. But if not, you're just going to keep on trucking and find somebody else that can handle all the business that you're sending. So typically that is going to be enough to get somebody to say yes. And you can set up a weekly payment plan on Stripe or in HighLevel and have them pay that invoice. And then all you do is just change the phone number routing to ringing your phone to ringing to Joe's phone. All the form filled, you can have as they're submitted, you can have it forwarded automatically through an automation to Joe. Any chats or anything, you can have a summary texted over to Joe. So you just know that every lead coming in is going over to Joe. He doesn't get a login to your account. He doesn't chat with the people, none of that, because all that is handled by AI. Maybe you have to check in every now and then just to make sure everything is flowing smoothly to him, but they don't need a login, nothing. All they're getting is all the leads that are delivered from your site in whatever form or fashion that you get them, and then you're forwarding them over. So a couple things that you need to know about this business model is you're going to need to kind of know what your cost per lead is when you're running Facebook ads in order to see if this is profitable. This is a mistake that we made early on because I just wanted to kind of see this whole process front to back. And so we were getting concrete leads for, say, $10 to $15 each. And I was sending basically 3 to 5 of those to the guy that has this rented out. So basically on this particular site, I'm making a little bit every now and then. We're breaking even if costs go up a little bit over the week. So we're not making a ton on this site, but it was enough proof of concept for me to go out and now start building this in a bunch of different other cities and renting them out to other people at a much higher price because I know my cost per lead and I know what I can present to somebody. So if I want to guarantee that I can give them, say, 10 leads a month, just for simple numbers, I know that's going to cost me about $150 a month to deliver those leads. And maybe they close a handful of those and it's super profitable for them. So it would be no problem for me to say, okay, if you're going to close 3 deals a month and that's going to bring you $3,000 each per deal. So that's $9,000 gross revenue. Obviously there's some things they have to pay their team and all of that to go out there. But say they even net 20% of that. So that's what? $1,800 net that they can get from that. They're probably going to make a lot more than that, but let's just say $1,800 a month net. They're going to get that. So maybe they pay you $200 a week for this, or $150 a week. So you're charging them $600, they're going to net $1,800, worst case scenario. So it's a win-win. So now you've just rented this thing out for basically $600 a month, and you're covering your costs and everything else as well. So great business. And if for some reason they stop paying and you haven't fully started getting Google rankings yet, you can either shut off your ads, or you can just take all the new leads that you have and start forwarding them over to a new concrete company and doing the same process over and over again. So you retain ownership of the domain, of the landing page, of all the seasoning that you've done with the Facebook ad account and everything. And all you're doing is renting the ability to receive the leads out to a local contractor. And you can do this from your laptop anywhere in the world. It's incredible. And it does take a little bit of work to kind of get this thing working. But once you have it, it's a great asset that you just have for as long as Google is around. Now, a couple things to note. So I decided to charge weekly instead of monthly for a couple different reasons. In this case, $75 a week is $3,900 a year. $300 a month is $3,600 a year. Why that is because some months have more than 4 weeks. So on the 5-week months, you actually make a bit more. And over time, it actually pays off and you make a bit more. Another thing is contractors often work on a weekly cash flow basis. So they do the jobs of the week, they pay out their subcontractors or whatever, and they're left with the cash flow. And they have trouble managing their cash flow. So if you're hitting them once a month at the end of the month and they weren't expecting it, it's a lot harder than just tapping them for $150 a week. That just is a lot more manageable. It also helps you see if somebody is going to stop paying or be trouble way sooner than an entire month, right? They've paid the $500 for the month or $800 for the month, and then they're not responding and all that stuff, and you don't really realize it until the end of the month when you try to charge their card and it doesn't work, and then they disappear and they don't respond to you anymore. So it's just a little bit easier for you to just see what's going on every single week. So overall, I recommend charging by the week. Just sounds better, $75 a week, $100 a week, $200 a week than it does $800 a month, right? So overall, I think this is an incredible business model. I do recommend using HighLevel to do this because, again, you can have unlimited of these and you can set them up however you want. There'll be a link down below for a free 30-day trial to HighLevel. Also, inside of our How to Profit community, you'll see exactly how we're doing this. We have so many other different business models we're talking about inside of there as well, but I have a full training already built in there about this, and we walk you through exactly how we built the site that I'm renting out right now. In this one, I'll show you exactly what that is, what the site is, and all of that. Just don't want to publicly do it on here. So with that, I'm going to wrap up here, and I'll talk to you on the next video. Thanks.